Okay, hi Aries, and welcome to your July 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk about the month of July, a beautiful, summery, and incredibly transformative month for Aries. You are one of the luckier signs this month, I think, because there's really no avoiding the deepest difficulty and also the highest points as well. There is a bit of polarization this month, but I feel that you are really learning a lot about acceptance and really learning a lot about also the way that you are talented, or how your talents can be pulled together and create more options and more opportunities for you. There's a really good strategy coming in this month, I think, for Aries, and it is ultimately lighthearted. Okay, so there is just a plain new beginning. There is a jumping straight into a very new way of operating and learning about a side of life that you might not have known existed. Okay, so there's a type of person or a job or something that you didn't know existed, or something that you've never experienced before. So wondering upon a new world or a new way of being is one of the most incredible things. And I think this is what Aries lives for. You know, the first sign of the zodiac, it's about discovering new things. It's about pioneering as well. So I do think that you are in that pioneer phase this month. And I think that doors are just going to be opening left, right, and center for you. So general intuitive messages, anything difficult, okay, can I see anything difficult? Can I see anything problematic? Only in potentially taking on too much. 10 of Wands is coming up, and it is kind of I would say the collective spirit animal at this time. We are all tested in what we choose to take on, what we invite in, what we sign up for is all a big test right now. So watch out for signing up for too much. Watch out for any type of burnout, but I don't feel that many Aries are actually there right now. I think that many Aries are just wanting to leap in, but knowing that you are maybe pent up or needing to do a lot, or feeling a compensation coming in, you could end up signing up for too much. So make sure that you're thinking very clearly about what you can actually handle and what is feasible. You have the Death card reversed as one of two of your major arcana cards, which says that there can also be a resistance of transformation, or a want to maintain the same, like wanting to maintain a way of living that you've had for a long time, not knowing that what's right around the corner could be much more enjoyable. And there's also a Eight of Pentacles reversed, wanting maybe a different way of producing, or what you consider work or employment. You might not want the same of what you've had. So there could be a boredom of previous types of work, and a want to introduce new kinds of work, or new kinds of hobby, new kinds of creation, which I think would be one of the most supportive things for Aries this month. A new hobby, a new creative outlet, a new project, because you've got some excess energy, and you might want to sign up for something that's not like make or break. You know, you might want to sign up for, you know, some type of like hobby that is flexible, and it's not like the end of the world if you can't continue, or if you have to maybe miss a session or something. Like that to me feels really good for you. You want to be careful about signing up for a bunch of things that have like consequences, or things which really demand you to be totally present at all costs, at all times. Otherwise there's some type of loss or some type of mark against you. Really be careful with those things. Like, I'm sure that many Aries have one or two things like that in their lives, but watch out for signing up for more things like that. Okay, you want to be careful for overcommitting. Otherwise, it seems like a totally positive month. Like that's really kind of a dig, you know, to find the negative. Like it's a celebration time for you. Some of you might be having engagements or marriages, or some type of ceremony, right? With Four of Wands, it's coming up for a lot of people this month. So it is a ceremonial month for a lot of people, where people are marking a new territory, or marking a new vision, dream, or path. And I really recommend that for everyone. If you are, you know, lucky enough to be someone who has afforded a transformation during this very stabilizing, centering year, It's very rare for people to really be able to do it. Like, a lot of people are just having to buckle down and commit to what they've been doing for a very long time. But if you have afforded a change right now, it's a very good sign, because it's difficult and it shows a type of refined strategy, or it shows a type of, huge vision, or long-term saving of time, money, energy in order to have a better future. Like that's very possible for a lot of Aries, but very hard for a lot of people to do right now too. If you are having that, really take your time to ritualize it, to ceremony, to have like that housewarming party, or that going away party, or that some type of ceremony that prepares you. We have gotten very detached from this in humanity. Ceremonies that actually create momentum. We just do, we just output, we just work, we just produce, and we just go and go and go. And we don't really take time to really ceremonialize what we are setting out for. And you'd be surprised. Humanity has done this for millennia. We've done this for a long period of time. And losing that has given a certain haplessness, or a certain aimless type of fluttering about. And when you really mark things with ceremonies, weddings, graduations, funerals, all of these things create a structure upon which people move forward and upon which people build off of. And we don't give it a lot of merit, and it's a big folly, I think. So we can still choose, though. It doesn't have to be grand, it doesn't have to be expensive, or it can be, depending, but try to give it to yourself if you are someone especially who has afforded that big transformation right now, or someone who is about to know that you have to, especially if you know that you're about to have to work really hard, about to have to get into 10 of Wands. You'd be surprised about how that pre-ceremony, or about how that housewarming, or about how that dinner with people that you look up to, or people who've been there for you for a long time, how that actually offsets that 10 of Wands, and how it makes it almost doable. It's interesting. I'm learning so much from this reading. And it's important for Aries to start doing this, especially on stuff that you are pioneering with, stuff that you're about to move forward with. How can you really set it on a good trajectory? Okay. Anything else I want to talk about before the week to week? You don't have to try that hard, okay? Things are going to come together naturally. 9 of Cups, 8 of Wands, Strength. It's an 4 of Wands there too. It's an incredible combination of energies that says that you can rely on the universe, or that you don't have to, break your back in order to do what you're looking to do. Like, it can all fall into place very easily. In fact, as an Aries, I would rely more on the flow of events than I would try to schedule everything out and organize everything right now and put everything into place with a very controlled, fine-toothed comb. I wouldn't do that, okay? I would rely on natural momentum. Anyway, let's get into your week-to-week Aries. So week number 1, Page of Pentacles rooted down by 4 of Wands. Reserve it for some type of ceremony, even if you have to invest a little bit. Like, I think that it's good for most Aries if you're about to make a big change, if you're about to move, if you're about to take on a new study, if you're about to go into a new job. Like, try to really make it for yourself, all right? And also think about small things that can be relied on by you. So, sorry, the channeling, the words come in funny sometimes. Think about the small things that are giving back to you right now, okay? So, friendships, side hustles, second jobs, hobbies, things which are not maybe the main focus of your life, but are building you. You never know how these things can grow in the future. So you don't want to really remove it. I don't think that you want to say goodbye to small support networks. Also, you want to think about the earthy stuff, the material world stuff, the way that you are working in tandem with nature. 4 of Wands and Page of Pentacles is like letting nature be the example, how the seasons change, how the weather patterns go through, seeing that it's not static, the day and night cycle, like especially for if you've got like a lot of Taurus or Capricorn and you're very relying on stability and guarantees and warranties. It's not very natural. We can't predict the storms. We can't predict certain things, and we have to start finding comfort in that. Otherwise, we're going to pull away from the amount of energy that we have. Week 2, you've got 9 of Cups rooted down by Death reversed. So there's a door opening. There's a portal at that time. There is a transformation. And some of you are reluctant, okay? Many people are reluctant for change because it's not actually a year cycle, 2021, where huge changes are indicated, at least where one chooses to do it. You know, we've got all of the Aquarian energy, which yes, says an innovation, or it says, you know, some type of big societal collective shift, but it's more so at that macro level. People at the individual level are very pensive about big self-fulfilling changes right now. Due to all of the instability from 2020, people tend to want to instead create stability and assurances and guarantees right now to make sure that they don't find themselves in that type of instability in the future. So that's kind of I think the balance that a lot of people are weighing right now. Like, how much of a change do I commit to? Do I really want to introduce an unsureness in my life? You know, something that is not just guaranteed by me, or something that I have to rely on others for. Like, that is something that people are hesitant for right now. But I do think it's part of the Aries experience, like, especially if it is mirroring itself in real life, like you have a move, or you have a new job, or you have a new relationship, or you have a very new way of sensory perception. That's a sign that there is a need to kind of, jump headfirst headlong into a new way. But contrarily, if things are very repetitive right now, which is beautiful in a way too, it's not at all wrong. You know, we very much glorify these changes and shifts and transformations in, I think, in this industry, but it's not always for the best. Like, there is a beauty in stability and in repetition and in routine, because it really does make people much more strong and powerful. So you have to understand that sudden changes, sudden catalyst moments, sudden like new ways of doing things are disempowering. Okay. And it gives you potentially power in the future through generating some type of new abundance. But there is typically a, you know, and there are certain people, especially if you've got a lot of Scorpio, if you've got a lot of Pluto in your chart, like, you can very much like feel empowered by those changes. But typically it is temporarily disempowering as you start to acclimate. And I mean, that's the beauty of life, is like not necessarily feeling like powerful and, you know, not knowing. Like, there's a beauty in that. Basically, it's a win-win situation. There's a beauty in every side of it, but you got to maybe stop looking for the problem, because you'll find it in every situation, you know, where routine, security, and empowerment become boring. Okay, where transformation, shifts, and catalyst experiences become unsettling and lacking in assurance or guarantee. You know, like, why do we have to make it like this? Why do we have to identify all this good and bad stuff? Like, I think that we just need to trust in the process right now. Okay, that's really, find a level, even-headed way. Like, even if I feel disempowered and unsure of my life through this transformation, isn't it beautiful that life does this and that things don't just stagnate forever? Contrarily, you know, if I'm feeling bored, if I'm feeling, you know, freaked out by how routine and repetitive things are getting, isn't it incredible that, you know, now at this phase in my life, I have something I can rely on, and I have something that isn't requiring me to lose sleep about the future, about like money, time, energy. You know, are there times where I can identify missing things still? Sure. But it's incredible to see the progress and how things grow. We've got to give it to ourselves, the even-tempered, nice things, in order to move through that portal. Okay, week 3, you've got 10 of Wands rooted down by strength. You're strong enough to carry it all. You're strong enough to probably have the transformation, shift, catalyst experience along with a repetitive routine structuring experience. But that is very unsustainable, because there's something unnatural about it. There's something that nature does not do, where it's like yin yang, you know, there's good and bad. There's masculine, feminine. There's both sides of it. Like, that's how this earth operates, is in a equal and opposite experience timeline, so it's not sustainable. Just note if you're giving yourself the whole package, the transformation, the routine, the structure, the catalyst, the boredom, and the excitement, like, it happens. It's part of the human experience, but it's not permanent. So you need more strength, you need more food, you need more calories, you need more sustenance to maintain that. It's very expensive. It probably costs more money. You know, it's like it increases the consumer nightmare as well, the consumerist nightmare. It's like not sustainable. So think about that. But there are times, I think, where every human does also have to give themselves that too. So think about the temporality of it, the temporary way that it needs to operate. So week 4, 8 of Pentacles reversed, rooted down by 8 of Wands, 2 8s, transformation, indication, infinity. There is that dichotomy there where it's transforming, but it's also lasting. So I think that it's just part of the Aries experience now to have a little bit of both. You might not be satisfied with the previous way of working or the previous way of generating value in your life, though I don't think you need to leave it behind. I don't think you need to abandon it. I think that there's still things to learn from it. So don't feel like you've got to leave everything behind. The Death card reversed, yes, on one hand, it indicates that you might resist transformation, but it also indicates that you don't need to leave everything behind. You've got to take some of it with you in order to sustain it, in order to have the connecting point. This is an awful year to throw everything away, okay? Let's be very blunt. This is a terrible, terrible year for being dissatisfied with what is here, because what is here to some degree is the representation of your wholesomeness, and people are not one tone. This is not a two-dimensional reality. We can't just do things perfectly. Like, we have to be okay with the way that things have not been perfect, and we have to understand the moral, and we have to take that with us. If we leave that behind, we create a path to repeat the same thing over and over again. So take some of it with you, know what is good. Aries can get one-sided with this. This is part of the negative Aries. Every sign has positive and negative expression. Negative Aries expression is getting too one-toned and too not willing to acknowledge the complexity of certain situations, which in a way is good for a lot of people this year. It is a good year to not get too complicated, but if there's anything in you that's like, I've got to get the divorce, I've got to leave this town, I've got to quit this job, I've got to change my image, I've got to have a complete radical shift, I don't think that that makes sense at all. I think that you've got to very carefully choose what you change right now. And you've got to pretty much keep everything otherwise. Okay, so we have to be cautious. But as you do that well, as in a refined way, you choose slight changes that make sense and keep other things. There's like all of this abundance coming in. 8 of Wands, 8 different opportunities, 8 different options, 8 different sources of value maybe, or at least 2 or 3 for sure. Like, I feel that Aries is really giving themselves a lot of different room for growth. So anyway, Aries, long reading, long general reading. In the extended reading for your sign, I'm going to talk about more ways to grow, more ways to feel confident in the choices that you're making, and how to understand maybe what is the best way forward if you are having a lot of doors to choose from. So let's talk about that in the extended. I'll get a central theme, supporting themes, and more. And I do bonus content and weekly forecasts only on Patreon. You can click the center of your screen now or click below to find that. I will talk to you all soon. Have a great month. Bye.